Hi guys, and thanks for watching our weather update on Thursday, April 6th, 2023. So today, I'll be starting off with the satellite and radar image across Ireland this morning, and then we'll go through the UKV high-res model for the next 5 days, and then the longer range models on, weathercentral.d for the next 2 weeks or so. And next week, it's looking it's looking really interesting actually, as we may be looking at a severe storm, and I'll go in more detail about that later. But starting off with the satellite image this morning, we can see that now around 9, we have cloud in the east of the country, especially south of Dublin towards Gorey, sort of Arco, that sort of area, and extending towards Wicklow and Kildare, further westwards. Patchy cloud in the South Midlands, and more extensive clouds in the southwest. But elsewhere, through Connacht, into Clare, into north and west Leinster, into South Ulster, it's nice and sunny, very, very fresh morning, beautiful blue skies. But in the far north of the country and on the west coast, we have a few showers pushing in, and some maybe a bit on the heavy side. If we look at the radar, we can see that we have some showers off the east coast, with that, bigger lump of cloud there. Also in the southwest with a bit more cloud there as well. Also off the west coast, you can see a few little showers. Also off the north coast and towards Scotland as well. So a nice spring morning out there, chilly but crisp and fresh. Now we're looking at the high-res charts for the next 5 days with the cloud and precip. So if we go towards this morning, we can see the fact that we've got rain clearing the east coast now around 9 a.m. Going into the day, we see a few showers breaking out across the country. These mainly in the northwest and in the south. Some maybe a bit heavy, but they'll be well scattered anyway, with some decent dry and sunny spells in between. A bit chilly though today, with temperatures around, say, 10 to 13 degrees. But still, it'll be really quite pleasant in the sunshine. Going into Friday, we see high cloud pushing in from the southwest. So hazy sunshine tomorrow, but it will be dry day. But it will be a very dry day. And in the evening, we'll see some cloud pushing in. Temperatures tomorrow, possibly a bit higher than today, about 11 to 13 degrees. On Saturday, we see mainly cloudy skies, but I think that this is high base clouds, so there should be some hazy sunshine if we're lucky. And going to Sunday, we see a big front pushing in off the Atlantic. And if I zoom in, we can see, if we go back there we go, thank you. We see a score line on the front, so this is a line of very, very strong winds, torrential rain, possibly even hail, and that could be quite disruptive on Sunday evening. Going into Monday, then we see a big rash of showers off the Atlantic as we go into a westerly flow, and that is a sign of things to come next week. Now, going into the GFS run, we're going to start with the GFS today, as usual. We can see the low pressure pushing eastwards across the country today, possibly bringing a few showers, and then tomorrow we see a brief bump of high pressure, bring in dry day, and into Saturday and Sunday. There we go. We see high pressure to our east building up, bringing in a mild wind from the south, but it will be dry. So on Saturday it will be dry, but by Easter Sunday we'll see rain pushing in from the west, and by Easter Monday we're into showery flow and quite cool as well by then. Now watch this. Tuesday, 12 o'clock. There's low pressure to the southwest of the country, right along the black line, and that's a jet stream. And if we push through, we see it really spins up. And the thing that spins it up is that it moves towards the cold side of the jet stream, to the north of the jet stream, and it's really powered up by this big temperature contrast. It pulls up a wedge of warmer air into it, and it hits the colder air, and that really ramps the intensity up. Really, really deep low pressure there, Tuesday night into Wednesday. That could be our first named storm of the year. Could well be Storm Anthony. Unfortunately, not Storm Austin, but that's fine. Then after that, we push through and we stay westerly and settles. It's quite a poor spring this, as we said, but still, all this rain is good for the garden, so I'm quite happy with that. And then going into the final third of April. Of course, it's a very long way out now, so obviously take it with a pinch of salt. We see high pressure building towards Scandinavia and across the country into the Atlantic, and that looks quite spring-like actually. Now the ECMWF run next. So let's see what this shows. Low pressure clearing eastwards today and just basically dying out. High pressure building from the east over the weekend, bringing in a mild southerly wind, but with it, rain will break through on Easter Sunday, unfortunately, and by Easter Monday we are wet, we're showery and cool. And there we go. That's that really deep low pressure that real storm shown by the GFS and every other model really. This time it is further north, so strongest winds across continental Ulster and the western northern coasts. The GFS has it further southwards, so the strongest winds in the south. Of course, the exact position of this low pressure won't be the exact position and intensity of the low pressure won't be set until like Monday or Tuesday, or say Tuesday. So all we can do now is say that there will be a storm next week, most likely, but where will it be? That's what we're trying to tone down over the next few days, and also how strong will the winds be, and where will the strongest winds be, etc. But yeah, it could be really, really quite treacherous next week, so just beware. And then we stay with low pressure until day 10. Icon run. Now this is very interesting, and you'll see what it does in seconds. So it's really the same story, really, right until Tuesday or so. There we go. It's going to barrel in, and look at that. This is really, really severe. Look at that low pressure right over Connacht and into the Midlands. Really, really, really strong winds around it. That would be a proper storm, especially for the south. If we push through, that is really severe. If we look at the winds, yeah, that's really, really severe. Going into the reds and purples here, off the scale pretty much. So that's really, really severe actually. Now let's go back to pressure. So yeah, as I said, a big eye needs to be kept on this. GFS is also interesting. I just want to go back to it and go straight to the storm. This, now don't take this seriously either, but I'm just showing you what could possibly really, there's a very slim chance, but just show that there's still the possibility that this could happen. This low pressure's got a really, really strong, as I said, gradient in temperature, with temperatures at freezing or above in the southeast to -5 in west and northern parts of Leinster. Only about 100 kilometres difference, so about 6 degrees cooler. Temperature temperatures are going down towards freezing. If we go to 9 AM, that's the peak time really. A lot of cool temperatures in the country. -12 Celsius Iceland coming through the country. Precipitation type. So, look at this. The blue areas with no hash markings are rain, and the areas with hash markings are snow. And we got widespread snow on this run for Wednesday morning. Really quite surprisingly, I'm very shocked to see this. Look at that, it just, through Tuesday evening into Wednesday, we just get this big swathe of rain that brings evaporated cooling, and therefore snow falls across large parts of the country. into Wednesday. Of course, this will very rapidly melt. So if we go back towards there, and we're gonna say snow depth, we do see snow build up. Now I'd expect that if this were to come off, and I must say there's a very slim chance of it coming off like this, that this snow wouldn't stick that much, and it would really quickly disappear. Like, look at that, by the end of the day, you've pretty much got rid of the whole thing. So, but I'm just showing you this just to show you that it is still cold enough for this sort of thing to happen if you get the right sort of situation. And that is really ridiculous. Really quite ridiculous. I was very shocked to see it this morning. Going to the UK Met run. Let's see what this is showing. High pressure moving in from the south this weekend, or at least early this weekend, to bring decent weather. But by Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, yeah, you guessed it, rain from the Atlantic followed by showers, and then that storm. Yeah, now it has it very nicely. So very intense bits something further northwards. So no snow at all. We're on the mild side of the low pressure, and we'll be very windy, especially now that it looks really severe, especially in the north. Now that's ridiculous for winds off the scale there, off the northwest coast. So we've done the GFS ECM, we've done the UK Met run. We haven't done the GEM run, I don't think, so we're gonna do that one next. Really quite interesting this morning, actually. Move through, and we see the high pressure moving in from the east. Now, what does the GEM do with a storm? Aha! So it sort of moves it a slightly further south than the ECM and UK Met run. So strongest winds in the Western Midlands, let's say, with that. And going through, that low pressure stays to our north, so we're very showery and cool and settles. And we stay that way right till the end of the run. It's a very weird spring, this. Very strange spring. Very unsettled. Not much in the way of decent weather at all. Been really wet. March has been wet, so April's been wet and windy as well. And cold possibly as well. Moving through, this is the arpege run. 2 minutes off. And unfortunately, we can't get to the time when the storm moves into the Atlantic. But we can see that by Monday, April 10th at 6 a.m, low pressure has firmly broken into the Atlantic. Westerly winds, showers, cool weather. So that's it for today's updates. There's a lot to be watching. I may have one later in the day, but otherwise it'll be tomorrow. So I'll see you when I next have a video, and hope you enjoyed the video, and bye for now. And we'll be keeping an eye on the storm.